Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, class 8. Okay, today we are going to start our science book. The first page of your book is on screen. You all can see over there. It's about chapter number 1 and we are going to start it. I'm going to share screen with all of you. It's human organ system. So we will start from here today. That is human organ system. Now in the diagram you people can see that there is so many systems in our body and you have studied in previous classes as well. You can see here is brain, kidneys, excretory system, circulatory system and the remaining system. So in this unit we are going to study each and every system in detail one by one. So the first one we are going to Okay, so we are going to start with the first one as nervous system. In nervous system, we will start first that what is nervous system, what are important constituents of nervous system and how it works. We will study all about it. So in the nervous system, you can easily first identify that nervous means the system that is related to nerves. Okay, we are going to start now from nervous system. Whenever a person gets injury on his foot while walking, he feels pain and his head immediately reaches the injured side. Who asked the hand to reach the side? It's basically the example. Whenever we get some injury, what happens? We at once change the direction of our hand or foot wherever we get the injury. So what is the side which is giving us this system? This is our nervous system. This is our nervous system which is going to help that we have to reach towards the injured side. Who asks the hand to reach the side? Obviously it is our nervous system who tells our brain that you should remove your hand from that. In fact, there is an organ system in our body which carries message from one part of the body to another and coordinates body functions. This system is called nervous system. This is the definition which I have highlighted. If someone says you have to write down what is nervous system, so you are supposed to write down this definition which is in pink highlighter, that there is an organ system in our body which carries messages from one part of the body to another and coordinates body functions. What is the meaning of coordinate body functions? Means you get the stimuli from the brain that you have to do this function and then your body is supposed to do that. This system is the most important system in our body created by Allah and we have to do the work accordingly. Now, what are the basic now coming towards the point, human nervous system. Nervous system is present in everyone. It's animal, it's insect, it's human beings. But we are studying about human as it is the most important creature and we are going to study the first one, human nervous system. You can see in the diagram, human nervous system basically consists of two different types now. Number one is, you can see on the screen, central nervous system and we can represent it as C and S. And the other one is peripheral nervous system which is known as P and S. PNS and CNS, these are short forms of central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Now what happens? In central nervous system, there are two important parts. You can see number one is brain and number two is spinal cord. These two things makes our CNS. And in peripheral nervous system, what happens? It consists of a network of nerves. You can see there are so many nerves in our body which are related to our brain. Let's talk about, if I give you the example of sciatica, the nerve is present over here, right over here where my cursor is present, and it gives all stimuli to our brain through CNS, and then it reacts according to our body. So coming towards the other one, now in this we are going to study about what is neuron and what are nerve cells. Here is the diagram. You can see, okay, this is the diagram of a neuron, and in this, these structures are known as dendrites. It's written over here. The major portion is nucleus, which contains all the information of neuron, and nucleus is present in between a jelly-like structure that is known as cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, nucleus, and both these consist of cell body. And then there is a long sheath which is known as axon. You can see it's just like a fiber, just like the wire we have on AC and then we wrap it up. So this one is known as axon. It's basically protective sheath. And then again, terminal ends of axons, which is connected in our body to give the message from one point to another point. So you can read from here as well. This is the definition of neuron. Neuron or nerve cell is the basic structural and functional unit of the nervous system. Means if anybody asks, or if it comes in your paper that what is the basic structural and functional unit of nervous system, then the answer should be neuron or nerve cell. This is the definition as well, and this is this can also come in the blank as well. That dash is the basic structural and functional unit of the nervous system. Similarly, if in the grade 1 to onward, grade 7, you have studied that dash is the structural and functional unit of our system or human organ system. Then cell, neuron or nerve cell is also a kind of nervous system's basic unit, that without this neuron, nervous system is impossible. Okay, all parts of the nervous system, that is brain, spinal cord, and nerves, are made up of neurons. Everywhere in our brain, in spinal cord, in peripheral nervous system, the major thing, without this it is impossible, it is neuron and nerve cell. Neurons transmit messages in the form of electrochemical waves called nerve impulse. Now this is the function of neuron. What does neuron do? Neurons transmit messages in the form of electrochemical waves that is called as nerve impulse. This diagram is really very important from the point of view that it can come into your exams and you have to label it. That this is dendrite, nucleus, cytoplasm, axon. Nucleus and cytoplasm both make cell body, and these are terminal ends of axons, which are very necessary to work for the nervous system. Now, it is the detail which I have told you. Just we will read it. The part of a neuron, the part of a neuron which contains nucleus and most of the cytoplasm is called cell body. I have told you cytoplasm and nucleus both combine to form cell body. The fine projections are these things, these noodle-like structure, you can say. Okay, the fine projections of the cell body which receive messages are called dendrites. In this paragraph only there is description of whole above one, that what is this, why is it is so. A long projection of the cell body which conducts messages away from the cell body is called axon. This myelin sheath is axon, and terminal ends of the axon transmit the messages to the next cells. So this was the description of a neuron cell. Now there is page number 3. There is an interesting information that impulses may travel as fast as 150 meters per second or as low as 0.2 meters per second. If Okay, so I was telling you about an interesting information that impulses may travel as fast as 150 meter per second. You can say while you are sitting in the exams and you are just putting pressure on your CNS and finding out the answers from your memory, your impulses are going to travel around 150 meter per second. That gives you the fastest memory, and you remind all the things and you write it down on your exams, or as slow as 0.2 meter per second. And if you got this much amount, it means you need to go towards a neurological disorder. So here it was about nerve. Now, what is the definition of a nerve? Okay, so nerve. Now, definition of nerve. A nerve is cable-like bundle of axons. In the previous diagram, you have seen what is axon. It is cable-like bundle of axons, just like a wire, fiber optic wire, just like a wire of an AC, which is connected to the extension, enclosed in a common sheath. Common sheath means the protective layer, this one. This is the protective layer, which is wrapped up to preserve the nerve. Nerve transmits messages from one part of body to another. This is the function of nerve, that it transmits messages from one part of the body. Let's say I got an injury on my finger, then the nerves present in the finger area will transmit message to our brain that I have to remove my hand from that injury. This is the purpose of nerve. Now, how many types of neurons that are going to function? There are 3 types of neurons. Number 1 is known as sensory neurons, number 2 motor neurons, and number 3 is interneurons. Now here is the function of each neuron. How many types? You should know that there are 3 types of neurons. Number 1 is sensory, number 2 is interneurons, and number 3 is motor neurons. Now coming towards the first one, sensory neurons. As the name is indicated, sensory neurons, senses. We have how many senses? We have 6 senses. Number 1, ears, eyes, skin, tongue, nose, by which we can sense anything. Just like eyes can sense what we are seeing, ears can sense what we are hearing. So these neurons definitely present in our sense organs, which has the ability to sense. Here is the definition. Sensory neurons carry nerve impulses from sense organs. Now here are the sense organs. Ears for purpose of hearing, eyes for purpose of seeing, skin for purpose of sweating, tongue, we can taste it, there are taste buds, nose for the sense of smell. To the central nervous system, all these organs, sense organs, carry nerve impulses from the sense organs and give us senses towards CNS, that we have to do this work. Now coming to our second one, motor neurons. Motor means the thing that is functional. Now motor neurons carry nerve impulse from central nervous system to effectors. Effectors are muscles and glands which you can't see. It comes under the heading of involuntary. And these muscles and glands are those things which you can't see, like involuntary muscles you can't see, and muscles are present under the skin, and glands are also like sebaceous glands which are present under our skin that produce sebum, pasina jisko aap bolte hain, precipitation. That is the parts which respond. Then interneuron means in between something. Inter is showing, are present in central nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord. They form a link between sensory and motor neurons. Interneurons, I have told you, they are the neurons which are going to connect with each other. So sensory and motor neurons are form an interlinked bridge between interneurons, and these are present in central nervous system, and they form a link between motor and sensory neurons. Here is the diagram about these 3 neurons. This one is, you can see, is cell body. Told you previously that cell body contains nucleus and cytoplasm. So this is the myelin sheath, axon, and dendrites. This is the form of sensory neurons, which gives the function towards sense organs. Now, this is another neuron that is connected with this, the terminal ends and dendrites of the next neuron. This is interneuron, which is connecting sensory neurons and motor neurons with each other. And here is the motor neuron. These are basically three kinds of nerve cells. You can see this one, the first one is sensory neurons. The terminal ends are going to join with this one. This is this interneuron. This is a second neuron type, and this one is the third neuron type. So all these three are interconnected with each other, so that we can see that how our central nervous system is going to work. Now coming towards page number 4, it is just an activity. You must be familiar with this. This is the structure and diagram of an eye, and here are the nerves, and this is, you can written that it's optic nerve, and this is the myelin sheath in which it is present. This is basically the structure of an eye, and you must know about it. This is a mini exercise you have to do on your copies or on rough copy, that make the diagram of a neuron or nerve cell and label its different parts. It's on previous page, just we have studied that nerve cell or neuron, which contains cytoplasm, cell body, axon, and the remaining things you have to make. Now, central nervous system. Central nervous system, told you previously that you can also write it down like C and S. Central nervous system. Okay. Central nervous system act as a control center. It is the most important, and it's just the remote control of your body. This control center of the whole nervous system. It comprises brain and spinal cord. You have already studied in that there are two types of systems: central nervous system that contains brain and spinal cord. So number one is brain. Let's study about it. All of you know that brain is the most important part of our body. Its shape is just like walnut. So someone says that eating walnut and almonds gives strength to your brain. It's true, and you can see there is question number 1. Write a note on human brain. Now there is a long question which can come, and you have to include all the things which I am going to teach now. Human brain is enclosed in a bony skull called cranium. The skull, the body which is covered by our head, is known as cranium and consists of billions of interneurons. There are so many neurons that are uncountable, and they are interrelated to each other. Now, there are different parts of brain. Basically, brain is divided into 3 parts. Number 1 is forebrain, then midbrain, and the last one is hindbrain. Among them, there are more important parts in forebrain. Let's study about forebrain. Forebrain is the largest part of the brain. It consists of 3 main parts. Main segregations of forebrain is 3 parts. Number 1, cerebrum. There is a difference between cerebrum and blum. We will study blum in the further run. Cerebrum. Number 2 is thalamus, and number 3 is hypothalamus. Okay. Now, forebrain is divided into how many parts? 3 parts. Number 1 is cerebrum. Number 2 is thalamus, and number 3 is hypothalamus. Now, one by one, we are going to study about the functions. Number 1, what does cerebrum do? Cerebrum is the topmost. Topmost means the thing which is present on the upper side and the largest part of the brain. It is divided into right and left cerebral hemispheres. Further, cerebrum is divided into 2 parts, hemispheres, which can be divided into 2 pieces. One is right and the other one is left, cerebral hemispheres. Now, cerebrum, what does it do? Controls many actions like thinking, feeling, and emotions, seeing, hearing, and precipitation, and speech, decision making. Means it is the major and important part of your body. Each and everything you do with the help of cerebrum. It can come as an MCQ, as a fill in the blank. The dash is the most important part of the brain. You will write down cerebrum. Now, inside cerebrum, this is the structure of brain. Inside cerebrum, there is small structure called thalamus. Remember, in forebrain, I have told you that there are three major portions. Number one, cerebrum. Now, inside cerebrum, there is thalamus. And hypo means more than the thing which is covering. This is hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is really very small. You can see it's just a piece of granule. Hypothalamus lies at the base of thalamus, under the thalamus. It's hypothalamus. It controls body temperature, hunger, and thirst. Means whenever you are getting thirsty, your hypothalamus is the portion that gives stimuli to the brain that you need to drink water. And each and everything like hunger and thirst is under the control of thalamus. Like if you are getting hungry, it means your thalamus is giving signals to you that eat something, eat something, eat something. This is the structure of brain. You can see it is cerebrum, means forebrain has three parts. Number one, cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus. Cerebrum's function: thinking, feeling, seeing, hearing, making decisions. Each and every bit which constitutes is almost about cerebrum. Thalamus is a very small structure, and hypothalamus includes your body temperature, your hunger and thirst. This was about forebrain. Now the second one is midbrain. You can see in the diagram, this is a structure. Second major portion of brain is midbrain. It is really very small. So midbrain is a very small part of the brain which is present below the cerebrum. Cerebrum is the topmost. This whole one is covering by cerebrum. And this is really very small portion is midbrain. What does it do? It receives information from sense organ, means all the things like sense organs, eyes, nose, and that sense organs, which is then passed on appropriate part of the forebrain. When you get the stimuli by midbrain, then it gives the stimuli further to forebrain that you have to do this, go and do this. Then hindbrain, the last one. Hindbrain consists of three parts, further three parts, just like forebrain. Number one, cerebellum, B-E-L-L-U-M. In the forebrain, there was cerebrum. It's cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. These are three parts of hindbrain. Now, function of cerebellum. Cerebellum lies under the back part of the cerebrum. It is present where? Under the back part of cerebrum. Which cerebrum is where? It is in the forebrain. What does it do? It acts as a controller for maintaining the body balance, that how we can walk. You see many people which are unable to walk correctly, their posture is not correct. It means their cerebellum is not working properly. So the neurological disorder is present due to this cerebellum. So cerebellum is really very important because it maintains our body balance and it gives us accurate movement and precise movement as well. Number two is pons. Pons is an oval structure, oval just like X structure, present beneath midbrain. Beneath means under. Midbrain, under the midbrain, there is a structure which is in oval shape and it is known as pons. It controls, what does it do? Pons controls many functions like sleep, swallowing, equilibrium, and taste, etc. Over here, you can notice many people, those posture is not accurate, which are not able to balance their body structure. You can see they also have some problems in swallowing something, and they also have some problem in taste. They didn't get the taste which we can taste. So it is interrelated with each other. If you didn't notice, you can notice anybody who is unable to walk or who is unable to maintain his posture, his sleep and swallowing and all these things are interrelated, and he or she might be unable to do that. So pons is also related to cerebellum. Now the third portion is medulla oblongata, forms the posterior part of the brain where it is connected with the spinal cord. Here, in the brain you can see this is the posterior part. This medulla oblongata will then join with our spinal cord. Spinal cord, basically the cord on which our body stands. Here it is. Where it is connected with the spinal cord, medulla oblongata controls. What does it do? Heartbeat, which is involuntary. It is not in our control. Heartbeat, breathing, and digestion, etc. Medulla oblongata keeps on working when rest of the brain goes to sleep. Medulla oblongata is the portion which never goes to sleep because Heartbeat is the thing which is going on, keep on going on, going on, going on. Without it, it's impossible to survive. Breathing is connected with heartbeat. So it's not possible that remaining brain is sleeping and it can't sleep. So medulla oblongata is the portion which will never sleep. This was all about brain, and here it is just written the weight that it is 1.5 kg and it consists of this much of neurons. Now the second portion is spinal cord. Spinal cord. You can see this is spinal cord. In Urdu, we can say it is reed ki hatti. Okay. The spinal cord is the cord on which our whole skeleton is stand. Spinal cord is an extension of medulla oblongata. This is medulla oblongata, this posterior end, and it is the extension till the hip joints. It runs backwards inside the backbone up to its lower end. It is also made up of interneurons. These are connected with interneurons to give the message to the brain. Spinal cord creates a link between brain and different body parts. It also controls some reflex actions, immediate and voluntary actions, and some other involuntary actions. This was all about central nervous system, and now coming towards peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system, PNS is written, consists of a network of nerves which are spread in the body to connect all the body parts. In the first or second page, I have told you that peripheral nervous system is consisting of different kind of nerves which are spread in our whole body, and it connects CNS, central nervous system, which contains brain and spinal cord, and the nerves which arise from brain are called cranial nerves. Cranial nerves means now the names of these nerves, just like a cranial nerve is present around the brain, and the nerves which arise from spinal cord, which are interlinked over here, these are known as spinal nerves. From the spinal cord it is derived. How many nerves in human beings? There are 12 pairs, means 24 nerves of cranial nerves in our brain. And how many? 31 pairs. 31 multiplied by 2, whatever the answer is, this is the amount of spinal nerves present in our spinal cord. If there is one pair of nerve is missing, we are unable to do our work. So it's very necessary to have all this. Okay, moving on the next one, it's working model of the nervous system, how it works. It's all the same. I have told you previously that nervous system coordinates all body functions. It also detects the changes in environment and produces response to the changes. The working of the nervous system has been depicted in the unit. This is working of nervous system. This is the diagram that you get injured and it is giving you the sensory neuron is giving you the senses to the specific organ, and this is interneuron processing, and this is the motor neuron. So this is the working model of the nervous system. So dear students, today your homework is that you have to write down question number 1. Let me show you. You have to draw this diagram, you have to label it, and then at the end you have to write down nervous cell or neuron. Without this major nerve cell or neuron heading, it's incomplete. Then you have to label all this, and then at the end you have to tell that it is neuron. And then you have to write down a complete note on brain. You have to write down a complete note on brain, which consists of the different parts I have told you. This is the homework for all of you, and you have to do it. Now, if you have any question, you can ask from me.